Naruto had 6 major teachers during his time as a ninja. Without them, Naruto wouldn't have learned most of his abilities. He also wouldn't have developed as many important aspects of his characters without their teachings either. Naruto learned what a ninja really is from Kakashi and took on Jiraiya's ambition for creating world's peace. These teachings are so important that after Obito was defeated by Naruto, he says that in a way Jiraiya defeated him. Jiraiya helped to give Naruto the tools and guided him on how they should be used. Without that proper guidance, these tools become counterproductive, such as when Nagato fell into darkness in the absence of Jiraiya. So when I rank these 6 teachers, I'll be accounting for what they taught for the battlefield and their life teachings. When it comes to what they taught for the battlefield, I'll be considering how much they had to offer along with how much they did teach. Power levels on this list vary greatly, and part of being a good teacher is giving your student everything you have. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and start from the bottom. Starting off at number 6, I have Killer B. He's last because he was very reluctant to teach Naruto despite the dire circumstances of the war. Naruto asks B to train him, and B starts to be difficult for no reason. He seems to blame Naruto's rapping skills for not teaching him, and instead goes to fight one of the giant animals on the island for fun. Meanwhile, Naruto failed to beat his evil self at the Waterfall of Truth because of how abstract of a challenge it is. The entire world is trying to avoid annihilation, and has instructed B to train Naruto, but instead he wants to go fight a giant panda. He also never tells Naruto the solution to the Waterfall of Truth anyway. The solution to defeating Dark Naruto was Naruto overcoming his resentment for the Leaf Village shunning him. B went through the same thing and knows how to beat the Dark Self, but by the time he wants to help Naruto, Naruto's already thought it through. From there, he tries to help Naruto tame Kuruma's chakra, but this goes bad and he admits that he underestimated the Nine Tails. Kushina saves Naruto, but this is partially on B for almost letting Naruto get taken over here. That's the only ability he teaches, but he does reinforce to Naruto that a Jinchuriki should not be imprisoned. Once Naruto starts questioning why he can't leave Turtle Island, B just lets him leave the enclosed space so that Naruto can learn the truth. And when Naruto decides to help in the war, B joins his side and helps him escape. The only thing B really stands for is that Ho should be free, and it's nice that he subtly supports Naruto's belief in that as well. Naruto didn't need the encouragement there, but it's good that B did it anyway. When it comes to helping him control the Nine Tails, he did awful though. He had a lot to offer in that area, but slacked off and didn't teach him properly when he did. He also didn't teach Naruto much about life, even though he should have helped Naruto conquer his dark self. B is hands down Naruto's worst teacher, considering all that he had to offer and he failed to deliver on it. Next to number 5, I have Yamato. He doesn't have as much to offer as B, but he did try to help Naruto. During their mission together to confront Orochimaru, we saw Yamato give Naruto many pointers. He didn't teach him anything big, but he helped Naruto a lot with small tips, and giving him general information. This was something Naruto needed at the time because there were a lot of basic things he didn't know. We also see Yamato help with the Rasen Shuriken training, which was a 24-hour exercise. He didn't come up with a training plan, but he did a lot of explaining once again. He didn't teach Naruto a single ability, but he was very committed and offered a lot of knowledge. In fact, Yamato is kind of like the mom of all the Naruto's teachers. He was constantly worried about the Nine Tails breaking out, but he also was just really cautious in general. He was really devoted to developing the Rasen Shuriken, considering that he stayed on the training ground all day and then slept there overnight. He also stayed for the entirety of the training while Kakashi went to go fight the zombie duo. There's not much to say about Yamato other than that he offered what he could and was very devoted towards Naruto and his safety. Next to number 4, I have Iruka. Iruka didn't really teach Naruto anything when it comes to the battlefield, but that's because Naruto was the class clown. So he gets a neutral grade in that area, but he makes up for it with their bond. Iruka was Naruto's first friend, despite Naruto being a nightmare for a teacher in a school setting. Even after Naruto vandalizes the Hokage monument, Iruka understands Naruto's cry for attention and satisfies it by taking him out for ramen. This was probably the nicest thing anyone ever done for Naruto up to this point. Iruka also was able to look past the Nine Tails being inside Naruto, even though Kurama killed his parents. Every time he saw Naruto, I'm sure he was reminded of the tragedy, but he looked past it, unlike most adults at the time. He also asserts to Mitsuki that Naruto being a Jinchuriki is perfectly fine, which is what Naruto needed to hear, considering it made him sob. Iruka doesn't get many moments to shine, but he does play his role perfectly in every instance he gets. After the third Hokage dies, he explains what the Will of Fire is to Naruto. Naruto somewhat knew what it was, but once Iruka explained it, it just clicked for Naruto. After that, we see him buy ramen for Naruto after Sasuke defected. This is very thoughtful of him, and he shows that he'll always be there for Naruto. He does the same thing after Jiraiya died, but Naruto blows him off. This doesn't deter him, and he waits until nighttime to console Naruto. He lets Naruto know that Jiraiya was proud of him, and that he wouldn't want his favorite student to be so down. This instantly picks up Naruto, and this scene is really one of the best in the series emotionally. Lastly, he does appear right before Naruto goes to war. He calmly explains why Naruto shouldn't intervene, but when that fails, he slips Naruto a note for him to read. The note gives Naruto his blessing to join the war, and this is just another instance of their relationship being perfect. Iruka always shows up when needed, and he always delivers. He didn't get the opportunity to teach him anything about fighting, but he was perfect in the off-the-battlefield category. He doesn't have the volume that some of the other teachers have in this aspect, but his efficiency is 100%. His devotion to Naruto went above and beyond, even after Naruto graduated from the academy. Next to number 3, I have Fukasaku. I imagine he's the one guy on this list that could be easily forgotten, but he's actually a good teacher and helped Naruto a lot. He taught Naruto Sage Mode and Sage Taijutsu, and these abilities were useful for the rest of the series. So he had a lot to offer just like B, but he also was excellent at teaching it. He often tried many different angles at teaching until one worked for Naruto. In terms of off the battlefield, he didn't have as much to offer. I think he helped Naruto get some closure with Jiraiya, especially when he gave Naruto Tales of Gutsy Ninja. After Naruto read it, he cried about Jiraiya for the last time, but more importantly, it helped him visualize his plan for peace. This book was so important that it helped Naruto get through to Nagato. After their long debate, Naruto brought up this book, and it was what finally caused Nagato's epiphany. So even though Fukasaku didn't have a strong bond with Naruto, he still did so much just by giving Naruto this book. It also ironically convinced Nagato to revive him. More importantly, this shaped Naruto's determination for world peace, which defeated Nagato and, to a lesser extent, Obito. He didn't get much time with Naruto, but he left an important impact on Naruto for the rest of the series. Next to number 2, I have Jiraiya. He had the most to offer along with the most time to deliver, but he has several shortcomings. I'm going to ignore the fact he didn't raise him, because it was important that Naruto's backstory consisted of him being alone. I don't like to just say that the plot demanded a character do something, but this instance is so extreme I'll overlook it. He does appear early in Naruto's shinobi career, and attempts to teach him the summoning jutsu. He's somewhat patient at first, but for some reason he felt like Naruto's life depended on this, so he did something hasty. He pushed Naruto off a cliff because he speculated that Naruto could control Kyuubi chakra in life or death situations. He speculated correctly, but this was just not worth it at all based on conjecture. I don't know what he would have said to the Leaf higher-ups if Naruto had died. He should have at least created some type of fail-safe where he can save Naruto in case he would fail. This was just plain dumb in my opinion, but when Naruto was learning the Rasengan, he actually was being a good teacher. His explanations and training method were good, and he did commit all the time he could to Naruto while he was searching for Tsunade. After a bumpy start as Naruto's teacher, things only got worse. Naruto and Sasuke were relative before the time skip, but after it, Sasuke was way out of Naruto's league. This is completely Jiraiya's fault. While he did seem to smooth out Naruto's edges, that was all he did. Jiraiya was busy, but so was Orochimaru, and we saw how the results played out. Jiraiya knows that the Akatsuki will soon be coming for Naruto, but he doesn't teach him as much as he should have. He should have had Naruto do Senjutsu training with Fukasaku while he did his work as Shadow Hokage. It would take zero effort from Jiraiya, and yet he didn't do it. We don't know if he knew about the Rasen Shuriken, but if he did, he should have told Naruto about it. Jiraiya stopped training Naruto after the time skip, so what about his off-the-battlefield teachings? He does a lot better in this category. I would like to mention that Jiraiya almost let Naruto get captured by the Akatsuki because he was lured away by a girl. He didn't know that the Akatsuki were around at the time, but had Naruto been captured, Jiraiya would have taken all the blame for it. After that mishap, he does devote some time watching Naruto train because he picked up on Naruto needing a father figure during his Rasengan training. So it was nice for him to do that even though he was so busy at the time. Going forward, he tells Naruto to let go of Sasuke at the end of part 1, but I'm fine with this. It was reasonable to say from his perspective, but it was even better that he respected Naruto's wishes after Naruto put his foot down. It shows that he respects Naruto, which is important in the student-teacher relationship. Sometime during the time skip, he lectures Naruto about peace, and this philosophy guided Naruto for the rest of the series. The only problem is that he didn't give Naruto Tales of a Gutsy Ninja to read like Fukasaku did. The main character was Jiraiya's idea for the righteous shinobi after all. It's possible he didn't give it to him because he wasn't sure about the book being any good. Whenever he talks about it, he seems to come off apprehensive, so I guess it can be excused. And as we all know, their bond was strong, and Naruto was devastated when Jiraiya died. He left the biggest impact on Naruto in both categories, but he has some glaring flaws as a teacher that prevents him from being first. And at number 1 I have Kakashi. His impact was smaller than Jiraiya's, but he gave Naruto everything he had. Some people accuse him of favoritism for not training Naruto for the Chunin exams, but I think he did the right thing. Naruto needed help with chakra control, and Ebisu was a special jonin because he was that good of a teacher. If Naruto could learn to control his massive chakra reserves, his potential could skyrocket, and Ebisu was more fit for teaching that. Sasuke was also going against Gaara, and losing was not an option after seeing what happened to Lee. So it was far more important that Sasuke work with Kakashi, especially since they share the Sharingan and lightning style. Kakashi doesn't get a chance to train Naruto until early part 2, and he nails this opportunity. His idea for training with shadow clones is genius. He also came up with the intricate steps to help Naruto invent a S-rank jutsu that he used for the rest of the series. His training is perfect for this part of the series, but this was the last opportunity he got to train Naruto. His off-the-battlefield teachings are also spot on, despite Kakashi not standing for much. Kakashi believes in saving your comrades and the will of fire, and that's about it. While the belt test was not invented by him, he added his own twist to it. He emphasized teamwork and subtly encouraged them to prioritize your comrades over the rules when he said Naruto couldn't eat lunch. After they break the rules, he passes them and tells Team 7 to never abandon your comrades. After the Land of Waves arc, Naruto asks Kakashi if shinobi are really just emotionless tools. Kakashi says that it's expected for shinobi to let their emotions guide them, and Naruto embraces this. These teachings stuck with Naruto and helped him discover the Will of Fire not long after. As I mentioned earlier, Kakashi doesn't get many opportunities to train Naruto after this, so there are only 2 other noteworthy moments. He keeps Naruto's rage in check for most of the Kazekage rescue mission, and he tells Naruto that he could surpass Minato. This was important because Naruto was having a little bit of a self-confidence issue after he failed to stop Sasuke. So despite Kakashi having so little time with Naruto, he left a sizable impact on him. There's also no flaws I can think of during their time together. His impact was smaller than Jiraiya's because he had less time and less to offer, but he executed perfectly when he got his time. That's what makes Kakashi the best teacher to me. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos in the future. Comment something if you have something to say. And thank y'all for watching, I guess I'll see y'all next time.